Alright, so here we are up at International. You can see I've parked my sled well away from where any ice is going to be falling. Now, when we're climbing any of these Pomas, the same principles apply to just how we climbed at Summit earlier, except as this lift was designed before harnesses and safety and things like that were in mind, keeping ourselves safe at the top of these towers becomes a little more interesting. So, just like before, we're still radioing into our driver at the bottom of the lift to let them know that we're standing at the base of the lift here and the base of this tower and we're ready for a creep. When we creep this lift, I can also see that I have a sheave stuck just here, this main big one, but also right at the top on the downhill side, I also have a sheave stuck up there. So we're gonna have to climb to both platforms here on the uphill and the downhill, and I'll go through a little more on how that's done. All right, so just like before, I'm gonna hit the side of the ladder to try and clear as much ice off as I can before I start to climb. So I'm going to give this a little hit here, stand right back, and then another couple of hits, and hopefully that's cleared off most of the ice, and then we'll climb up to the top first and de-ice top to bottom. Alright, so now that I've arrived at the first platform here, as you can see there isn't as much to clip onto and to stay nice and safe. So once I've hopped off the ladder here, I'm going to move my hooks up onto these here. And that's my anchor point that's rated for this lower one here. With the sheaves that I'm going to be hitting here, I'm not going to be hitting them as hard as those steel components that we were hitting earlier. I'm going to be a little bit more delicate with these ones. But not as delicate as, say, the inside of the sheaves. Somewhere in between that, I think, is best. So I'm going to climb on over here. And this big sheave is the sheave that was stuck earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a tap on the side here. And maybe I'll even tap these sides just a little bit too. If you have some really persistent ice, you might have to pull out the microscope, grab the back end of your hammer and poke it through these holes here to try and clear off as much ice as you can, because maybe in there and here is the problem that's stopping this sheave from spinning. As you can see, my lanyards are now really clear and away, so I'm standing clear and ready for a creep, and then I can check if this one's spinning freely. Once this one's spinning, we'll move on up to the top now and we'll have a look there, because things get a little bit more complicated when we're up there also. So I'm now going to climb to the top half here, and as you can see, there isn't as many anchors up there for me to put my hooks on. So I'm actually going to leave my hooks on the ladder when I get to the top. Putting both my hooks as high as I can, I feel, is really important. And now you can see I can step up on over here. Alright, so as you can see, my hooks are really only at my waist height, which is far from ideal. And if I was to fall here, then I'd be falling a reasonably long way. Although there is an anchor point right behind me here, personally, I think it's too close to the sheaves, and I'd be really quite nervous that my lanyards here could get pulled into the sheaves while I'm de-icing. So I'm going to be really mindful that my fall distance is going to be really fast. I'm going to be very careful. And then to hit these sheaves here, we're going to do the same as before. Tap them at maybe a medium hardness. Right here. We can also give our stick guides a light tap. Hopefully that would be enough to get it spinning. Again, when we're calling in for a creep, I'm going to stand well clear away from these sheaves to make sure that they're spinning freely. I'd make sure that my shoelaces and things like that are well and truly out of the way before I call in for that creep. So these derail wheels here, those can be really prone to getting iced up. So what we want to make sure is that those are spinning freely. So you might need to give these a bit of a tap as well and clear any ice that's off there, and make sure that these can spin freely. If you accidentally maybe lift it up or knock it over, then this spar switch here will be tripped and therefore you'll get a tower fault, similar to if a brake fork on Summit was crushed. So if you were to lift this one up, that would trip this spar switch. So we need to place it back down, make sure it's aligned properly, and then reset that switch there.